Rambo apocalypse soon enough, missing no action. I'm Sam.
The world's greatest headbutt scene? I'm Jackie.
Never go to war with metal teeth. I'm Justin, and this is Strike Commando on Stinker Madness. Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the show, I lied. I lied to your face, listener. Right to it. I walked into your bedroom while you were sleeping, looked at your face, and said, next week on the podcast, we're going to do Dinosaur Island from Fred Olin Ray, and I lied to you.
Because it's not anywhere.
It's not anywhere. Hasn't been for a long time, in fact. I don't know what I was thinking, because I knew that. I don't know why it's not available. It's one of his best movies. There's a shit ton of Fred Olin Ray on Tubi.
Wasn't that like a team effort with him and Wynorski?
It might have been Alan Arkesh.
Was it?
Yeah, it's either him or Wynorski. I can't remember. I want to say it's Alan Arkesh. So either way, that's not what we're doing. Instead, we're doing Reb Brown, which is always good. Currently streaming on Amazon Prime, which is weird to see stinkers still on Amazon Prime. If everybody's clearing out their content, why isn't everybody just shipping it to Tubi? But yeah, it's on Prime right now, so no commercials. Also directed by Bruno Mattei.
Bruno Mattei.
Famed Stinker Madness director. Sam, why don't you go from here?
Bruno Mattei, also known as, I don't know who, somebody called him the Italian Ed Wood.
Oh, okay.
I think he's better than Ed Wood, though. That's
very
not
much
fair.
Yeah, very much.
I think he's more, like, if you're going to you can't even really compare him to, you can't compare him to anybody.
Well, I mean, especially because if you wanted to, like, label him in any way, his shtick is not, I mean, I guess the start of Mockbusters, kind of. Cruel Jaws, this, obviously.
It's not Mockbusters. He just rips shit off.
He just rips shit off, yeah.
He just rips shit off. The music in this is Luigi Cicerelli. Pretty sure he didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
Lots of stock footage that I'm certain he didn't have permission to use. You can't compare him to Godfrey Ho, because Godfrey Ho was like, he probably had the rights to, but he was mashing up so much shit that it's not really, he's doing mashups and Bruno Mattei is just ripping shit off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is really Rambo apocalypse soon enough, missing no action. It has scenes from every Vietnam movie. You even got the flamethrower from Deer Hunter in there, right? Just all of it.
Yeah, with a tinge of, well, I guess, this was 87, right?
Yeah.
And Platoon is 86?
Yeah.
So there's plenty of platoony shit in here as well.
There's plenty of platoony shit in here as well. Yeah, and he didn't even, it's not that he like forgot to credit a few of the people in this movie. It seems like only about 20% of this movie's crew and cast received credits at the end. I watched him and I'm like, there was more than 9 people in this, Bruno. There was way more than 9 people in this.
I don't have a time to credit everybody.
I don't write stuff down. I forgot who that was. It's like,
get a notepad, asshole.
And then the internet's confused as the major is either William Berger or Mike Monty. Either way, they were both in like 20 of his fucking movies. And it's like, that guy's your friend. And you forgot that he was here. God damn it.
He's a busy man.
The other guy you probably recognized was Christopher Connolly, which is the bad guy. He's the bad guy from Raiders of Atlantis. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Did we do an episode on that, or did we just watch it?
I think we just watched it.
I think we just watched it, because that's ones that I think that you can only get on
disc,
out of print disc on eBay for way too much money.
Yeah.
And then Reb Brown, this is, I think, bar none, the most Rebby
it's pretty Rebby
the Brown has ever been. Yeah. Because he's not just doing, he's on an 11, and Bruno's asking him to do things that are ridiculous. And he's giving 110% on these things that he's being told to do that are just not the thing to do.
For Reb Brown.
Like the double fist pump after he throws the guy off the waterfall. He's like, yeah! Like, that's not what you do. There's men trying to kill him and he just goes, cut it out. He kills him. Like, what? Cut it out? Cut it out. Stop that. Like, what are you doing?
It's glorious.
I don't know if I mentioned this on any other Reb Brown movies that we've done, but he was supposed to be the starting running back at USC, and he lost out late to O.J. Simpson.
Okay. Famed actor
I
O.J.
believe
Simpson.
he transferred to a different college. But I don't know if he played fullback for OJ that rookie year or for their freshman year or whatever. I don't have that information. I don't know where to even look for that.
Okay.
Like, did he continue to play with OJ for 1 year? Or did he just leave right then? I don't know.
Probably going to have to call Reb Brown.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure he'd talk to you.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's doing, like, side conventions in this Captain America shirt from the looks of it, so he probably would.
Jackie, is Reb Brown the sexy?
Yes, we've already talked about this.
I want to talk about it again, because this is the most shirtless Reb Brown episode I think we've done so far. So,
I personally thought he looked, because my first introduction to Reb Brown was when he was an older guy, right? In that one where he's kicking people's asses inside the casino.
I don't know what movie you're talking about. But it sounds fun. I'll go to
We
there.
did it for the podcast.
I don't think we did.
No, I think you have Reb Brown confused with somebody entirely different.
Yeah, I think you do. He was Captain America, not the
and
Peyton
your
Manning.
Hunter from the future.
Yep, not Peyton Manning, Captain America. And then he was in Howling 2, My Sister's a Werewolf. And
your sister's a werewolf.
No, your sister's a werewolf. Dare you. Future Zone? Not Future Zone. What's the really bad?
Space Mutiny?
Space Mutiny. And I thought we had him in one other episode, but
whenever Robo War shows up, I'm sure we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Which is another Bruno Mattei team up. And it's a ripoff of Predator and a bunch of other movies like that.
There you go.
Do you spell his name B-R-E-T?
Reb.
What?
Reb. Like rub, but Reb. Reb Brown. Reb Brown. This is good audio here. We're really...
Rebro is what he is in this movie.
We're really driving up that content right now while waiting for Jackie to look up this movie that she thinks exists and does not. She's actually thinking of Ronin, which is not a movie we did for the podcast, nor has Reb Brown in it.
This isn't their most shirtless because your never has a shirt at all.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't even have pants.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Captain America, he was kind of doofy, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, okay, this guy is weird. I don't like it. But then in this movie, he was pretty handsome, and I was glad that he took off his shirt a lot.
He's a shredded dude.
Yeah. He's
very... Because if you think about it, Arnold's like the launching pad for the modern physique that we all think of when we think of a shirtless guy. But Reb Brown was pretty early in on that Chris Hemsworth style bod.
And he doesn't, you can tell that he's just built that way.
Yeah.
Like he probably doesn't hit the weight room like some of those other guys. He's just like, when you read that he was a fullback, you're like, oh, he's just a big guy.
Just a big muscly dude. Good for him.
Yeah, I wish I had those kind of genes where I was just naturally thin and beautiful, but I'm not, so.
Yeah, the rest of us have to actually do stuff.
I know, right?
Or not.
Or not.
just be slobs.
Hold on, I gotta grab another beer. Okay, what else you got, Sammy?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
There's nothing. It's a fucking Bruno and Mattei movie.
Yeah.
He forgot to write half of the information down for the credits.
Right. So
what's anybody gonna know about it?
Okay, well, let's get into it. The one thing I do want to say about this is it is a weird Bruno Mattei movie because it is actually one that has 3 acts. Like, it follows the 3-act system, which none of those other movies even know what acts are. It's just, let's start filming, and we'll stop when I say we're done. But this has 3 different acts. Anyways, so there's a strike team. There's 3 guys on it, I think. Reb Brown is the tough guy. And they're going into a depot of some sort in Vietnam. Most of this movie takes place during Vietnam, and they're gonna blow it all up.
Yeah, I should mention that I didn't know if it was Vietnam until about halfway through the movie.
Yeah, it's really like
I was really confused as to what was going on, who was who, where, who are they, what are they doing here? What is this? Is it Vietnam? Is that what this is? What is going on here?
Why
Also,
don't they have better gate clippers? I mean, those are the ones that your dad has in his garage, and I can guarantee that those things are dull as shit, and you're really trying to work hard to get that fucking fence open.
They're not actually gate clippers, Jackie. They're diagonal pliers. That is not their intent. They're for cutting wires.
They were struggling real hard with the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's like, those men are the best. Look at them. They're getting through the fence, and they don't even have the right tools for the job.
We'll just be here in a week. Still waiting for them to get through that fence.
We'll probably not have any questions at the end because I'm just going to ask them as we go. Like, what is the fucking plan here on this depot?
Go in.
Wire it up with explosives.
We'll figure it out.
And then the guy at the top of the hill with the general, they've got 7 minutes to get the fence down, get in.
Well, they're 23 minutes past that point because they brought the wrong tools. So, abort.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to describe the op a little bit better than that. So it seems like the op is that the command is going with them.
Yeah, they're just hanging out off to the side.
They're just hanging out just adjacent to the operation, and they have the detonator, and the team is supposed to go in, plant the explosives, and get out, and then they blow it up. But the evil colonel...
Radic.
Is like, they've had the operation comes first, and it's like the explosives are planted. Why would you just blow them up? And he blows them up. He blows up Strike Team Commando after they do some really ridiculous shit with a miniature crossbow.
Yeah.
Like that's not a very good weapon for Vietnam.
I like that when they're going in, the spotlight keeps shining on them, and they're like, "Get down!" And the spotlight hovers over them. Okay, we're in the clear. Oh, shit, here it comes again. Get down! And the guards never fucking see these guys because everybody knows if you just lay on the ground, you're invisible.
Yeah. There's also points in the operation where they're not really very quiet.
No.
Like, they bust into one thing and just start kicking the shit out of everybody and knocking crap over, and no one seems to notice they're in there.
Well, eventually somebody does notice because... the black guy is the first to get shot because he's like, oh, shit, you weren't supposed to see me. And this guy just mows him down with an M60.
Yeah.
And that's when the alarms go off. So, yeah.
We should also mention that the hole in the fence that they cut was cut perfectly so that they could go in with a backpack.
You really like that fence cutting sequence, Jackie. So the alarms go off. Radic is like, blow it. We said we were going to do this, blow this depot up. Actually, you said you were going to take the depot. Well, I've changed my mind. We're blowing it all up at any cost. Any cost. And the major, who is the counterpart, the voice of reason to this guy, is like, but the men are still there. I don't care. Blow it. So the guy blows it. Which, they're still fine. Shit's blowing up all over the goddamn place. They're running out to try to get out of there. And the last commando doesn't... Correct me if I'm wrong, but my interpretation of the last commando's death, cause of death was not explosion. It seemed like he got shot in the back, which would have happened whether he hit the switch or not. They were already discovered. Men were shooting bullets at them. One of them got shot in the face with an M60. The other one just gets shot while running away. Reb Brown's like, God damn it, and dives in a fucking lake. I don't know if the fucking rat had killed him.
I don't know if he did either. Also, I think Reb Brown is blown into the lake.
Yeah, maybe blown to safety.
Yeah, blown to safety.
Okay, all right. So he makes it. And then the major's like, or not the major, Radek is like, well, we're just going to have to posthumously tell those guys they're heroes. And then starts smiling like, yeah, dead American boys. Love it. Love the smell of American heroes.
Yeah, he's got a weird rivalry with the major, and it seems like men are of no consequence to this rivalry. But later it sort of explains what's going on, but that again, you're so confused with why anyone has any motivations to do anything other than Reb Brown,
Right.
who's just dead set on revenge.
Yeah, right. Well, and some other stuff.
And helping people.
And helping
Yeah.
So he floats down the entire Vietnam River. I can't remember what that fucking river's called. He's in the water for like a goddamn week upside down with his face in the water. He's dead. And he just floats along, bonks up against a dock, and this kid's like, hey, is that an American?
Yeah.
Well, look what floated up today. An American. Because they take him back to this hut, and things get pretty weird at this Lord of the Flies shit that is this Vietnam tribe. What do we call it?
It's a village or something.
Where they're doing weird face paint ritual shit and chanting
It's just-
American. Like, it's so weird.
Some Bruno Mattei shit happens here. He wakes up, they've made a cult around him, and he falls out of the hut in fear.
Yeah.
But then they cut him down and do some more chanting about the American, and then Luciano Pagozzi shows up, and he's supposed to be a French guy.
Yeah. Just a
That
drunk
was
French
the best
guy.
friend of the French mission that was there when the French were in Vietnam.
Right.
But he was killed by Russians or something.
And now they need an American to kill the demon that is the enemy. And Reb's like, I'm not going to shoot that guy. He's prisoner of war. They're like, okay, well, I guess you're a dick. And they shoot him.
They shoot him, yeah.
Well, why did you need me? You seems like you're good at shooting prisoners without my help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why do we like Americans again? Oh, yeah, McDonald's. Okay. All right. You can go.
There's a bunch of meandering around, and then he offers to take them to the American line. Finds a radio on a guy that's been dead for a while.
Yep.
At one point, the leader, young girl of the tribe, says a line where she turns to him and she goes, "We're like easy targets."
My dude.
My dude.
And so, like, he calls in on the radio and he's like, this is Mike Ransom, and I just want to let anybody that had anything to do with blowing me up, I'm coming for you. And so,
kind of. He's like, this is strike one to whatever Echo Base or
Sad Eagle.
Sad Eagle?
Sad Eagle.
Sad Eagle, this is strike one. Yeah. And he does request the choppers. He says there's a lot of people to rescue. Mm-hmm. No one at command's very interested in it, but they send the choppers anyway. And then they ask about the rest of Strike Team, and he says, "The rest of Strike Team demands justice." And then he does it like 6 times. They're like, "Didn't quite copy that. What is it?" "They demand justice." Are you saying that they demand justice? Yes, they demand justice. Are they alive? They demand justice.
And Radek hears all this, and he's like, "Uh-oh." And he's like, "No, don't go. Don't go.
Don't listen to him.
Don't get that guy." And they're like, "No, we're gonna go get him."
The major shows up and he's like, "I have a radio too, dick.
Yeah, right.
We're going." It's like, "Oh, well, you have to turn around if I say to, because I'm the boss here."
Meanwhile, Ransom has befriended the young 14-year-old child of the village who says, "What mean expendable, Rambo?" And he's like, "I love America, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, that old fucking shit. Yeah, kid, you should go to Disneyland where there's a magic genie who gives you whatever you want."
And popcorn and candy cotton grow on trees.
What the hell?
This kid doesn't know what he's talking about because he doesn't have electricity. He's never seen Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. He doesn't know what cotton candy is.
Right, but
none of this would make any sense to him. He's like, "You're crazy, American guy."
I think that Reb Brown doesn't fucking have any clue of what any of that stuff is. Because I've been to Disneyland. I don't remember meeting a genie that gives you whatever you want.
No, they just take all your money at the gate, and if you have any money left, they take it away from you inside.
I don't even remember eating popcorn or cotton candy that much. It's not. Is he thinking of the carnival and you put in the quarter to the magic genie guy who, when you say "I want to be big," turns you into a big-sized man-child and you get to feel some boobs later? Is he thinking of the carnival?
Maybe.
So he's just an idiot?
He's just an idiot.
Okay. So it ain't Disneyland. Hey. And so he's like, "Yeah, kid, I'll take you to Disneyland when the war's over." Okay, cool, Reb Brown. And Reb Bro. So later, they're walking along, and there's some gunfire, and he's like, "Guys, go check that out." They get dead. And then some other guys just walk right into the fucking bullets. He's like, "God damn it." He's
screaming, "Get down."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Huh? No." And they get shot. And he's like, "Get down." I think he even under his voice goes like, "That's not getting down, guys. You're getting shot."
And so there's this boat coming up. And so he wants to blow it up. So also there's other Viet Cong on land that are just now, they're like ninjas. They just showed up and they're chasing villagers around. And villagers are blowing them all up. They're doing a pretty good job. That fucking kid takes out like 8 guys with guns. And then the drunk Frenchman takes out like 4 as well. And it's like, how did we lose Vietnam? Huh.
They also, like, he jumps in. They have like a patrol boat. And then he, for one of many times, uses a bundle of grenades as if it would be a bomb, not just a bundle of grenades.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't really do a lot of damage to the boat, but everybody blows up.
And then he gets radioed that he's got 7 minutes to make the rendezvous.
But as we know from the beginning of this movie, it's actually only 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And then when he's like, "You got 7 minutes to make it," and then he's like, "Turn the choppers around now."
Yeah, exactly.
So they do, and the one with the major in it's like, "Oh, we got to turn around." He's like, "Fuck off with that. You have to listen to me." So they keep looking for him.
Mm-hmm. But old Frenchie has been nabbed by the Russians, led by Jakoda, who's this big no-neck dude who I could have gone for more in other movies because this guy was great.
Yeah, he's great. He's only in a handful. His name's Alex Vitale.
Yeah,
he definitely reminded me of a dude that works out a lot and clogs up many toilets with his protein shake, meat-eating business.
Like, if we could have gotten Expendables with him, Ted Pryor, Robert Zadar, like, just that group of guys, that would have been great. And, of course, Reb Brown. But
there's a lot of the really hard synth music when he's there, so he's sort of like a mini Zangief.
Yeah, right. That too. Yeah, good call. So he finds the Frenchie and he strangles him so hard his shoes come off. That's hard strangling.
Yeah.
But not before Frenchie, not before he dies, he's able to grab the patch off of the Russian guy.
Yeah.
To prove that the Russians are there for the American.
Hammer and sickle badge. And Reb Brown.
It looks like somebody's grandma made it.
Yeah, it's not a good patch. But Mike Ransom walks up and finds it. Now he knows that the Ruskies are there. And he's like, "I got to get this evidence out of here. Back to HQ. And also these villagers. And also myself. And also justice for strike commandos." Busy guy, busy bee, can't talk right now. Bye. So the major, he's like, bad connection, can't hear you. I'm not coming back. And he stays out and he's flying around. And then the Jakota, like, he's walking around trying to find Mike Ransom, and instead he finds a cobra and he fucking punts that cobra because it's in his way. And it's, what the hell?
Yeah, there's a cobra, and it's like, yeah, I'm menacing the cobra. And he looks at it and he's like, I'm more menacing. And then he kicks it in the face.
Stupid.
And it lands in a tree and then on somebody else that is working with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? So Ransom, he starts picking them off. He's being stealthy at first. Grabbing a guy, knifing him, running some Dalton style traps. But then every now and then he's just like, that was working, but whatever. Starts lighting them up, and they're churning around, and then he's stealthy again. At one point, he has covered himself in tree, not like a ghillie suit or buried in leaves. He has broken off branches and wrapped them around his body so that he is tree. And he's got his eyes closed, and you can see his full face, and then he opens them up like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's playing peekaboo the wrong way.
Can't see me.
No, it's you who can't see me.
Yeah, you're right there, bud. You're the tree. Whoa. So then the Viet Cong, they order mortars against him because he's running through an open field on his way to the choppers. It's a good thing you made sure to point out this rice, Jackie. It's very, we want to make sure everybody knows that that's what they eat in Vietnam. Got to mention that every time. Thanks. Racist.
Well, I figured it was important to the plot because it's slippery there.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
It's wet.
Okay.
Because rice fields have to be kept really damp, right? So this is dangerous for him. Not only are the mortars going off behind him and flinging mud in his face, but it's hard to keep your balance.
He is moving a little wobbly here, but he's also faster than mortars.
Well, they keep shooting where he was.
Guys, we're running out of mortars here. Want to try something different? But then the chopper shows up, and they shoot all the mortar guys, and picks him up, and thus ending Act 1. He's back on safe American soil. He arrives at HQ and he's wanting revenge. He's about to go in there and blast Radek in the face, and the major's like, you can't do that. He's your commanding officer now. And wait, wasn't he from a different branch of the military?
Confused a little bit, I am, but and then Radek shows up and he's like, I'm giving you the Silver Star so you don't kill me.
Oh, well. All right, then. I guess bygones can be bygones, eh, buddy?
Yeah.
Comrade. Oh, here, but speaking of comrade, here's a little patch that I found. Shows the Ruskies are in Vietnam. Oh, I didn't know that.
And he was so smug about it, but the general was like, he's not liking this at all. He's trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I'm not going to go in there without proof. And he's like, I ripped that off of a guy's uniform. What fucking proof do you need?
I've got the proof.
And he's like, no, this could be somebody's grandma that just is doing arts and crafts. I mean, this looks like a Girl Scout badge.
So they bargain, and he's like, okay, you can go back in there, but you're going alone, and you can only bring a camera. And he was like, fuck that. I'm bringing guns, and I'm bringing all those people back. And the guy's like, well, you drive a hard bargain, but whatever. You're not going to make it, so fuck off.
Yeah, so he gives him two dudes. One to man the machine gun in the front, one to drive the boat with a Walkman.
Two soon-to-be dead guys. Because it's clear they're not part of this mission. They're not going to make it. And they don't even make it, 5 minutes. Because up ahead is a bridge with a trap in it. They get mowed down. But he doesn't.
Well, I love how he screams at them to get down, but there's only really room for one of them to get down. So.
Well, we know what happens when he yells, get down to people. They don't.
They don't.
Well,
you're not the boss of me.
In the Walkman guy's defense, he couldn't hear anything.
Right.
He was jamming out to Van Halen and...
Might as well jump. Wait, that's from 1984. That doesn't line up with Vietnam. I'm confused on the time. Also, how do I have a Walkman in Vietnam? I ain't no fortunate son. So he grenades the bridge because he brought a grenade launcher. That's good call, you know?
Yeah.
And then he finds the villagers, but they're all dead.
Except the kid who's alive long enough to die in front of him.
Right.
And make him do possibly the worst crying that we've seen on Stinker Madness.
It's amazing. Yeah, he's like, tell me about Disneyland. And Reb Brown's like, oh, God, kid. You can eat popcorn off the trees. And there's the magic genie I told you about, wherever. And then I'm going to get an Oscar. And it's going, no, Reb Brown, you're not. And then the kid dies, and Ransom just yells out, Chakotay! It's awesome. While he's cradling the kid. Ah!
Yeah.
Super dramatic.
I loved it. So then he grabs some Viet Cong guy that's just walking around, and he's like, take me to Chakotay. And he's like, oh, okay. He's right over
there. Yeah. He doesn't even provide no resistance. He's like, he's right over there. Don't kill me. He's right over there. And then he points where he's at. There's obviously an encampment. He's like, I don't believe you. And he's like, why not? Where else would he be?
All right.
Well, I don't see him right this second. Yeah. And then he puts on these goggles that I have written down that these are the Grumman Vietnam number goggles. It's just numbers. It doesn't do anything.
It has like 3D vision. Like when you go to a movie that's not 3D and you put on 3D glasses and it's just, you see the red and the green. That's when he's got to dial it in. Like, oh, I've got to get this 3D dialed in. Oh, yeah, it's in 3D. Well, yeah, because it's in front of you, stupid. You live in a 3D space, so that would work. Oh.
I would speculate that they're supposed to be like rangefinders, but the numbers that are flashing are just completely random and make no sense.
What were those things called? They were the red things, and then you put the little white card in and you click the yellow thing.
Viewmasters.
Viewmasters, yeah. He's got a Vietnam Viewmaster.
Yeah. Who put She-Ra in here again? God damn it!
So he, the one guy tries to stab him. The guy that he brought with him, and he has stab sense, and so he just butts him in the face with the gun. And does that kill guys just like every time? Because it seems like,
I don't know if they're just unconscious or what.
The movie seemed to declare to us that if you rifle butt a guy, he dies.
Well, if you get him in the nose area and you get it just right and the nose bone breaks and goes into the brain, then yeah.
Is that really a thing?
Is that really a thing?
They teach you that in self-defense class. To hit them in the nose as hard as you can in an upward motion with the flat part of the bottom of your hand.
You went to self-defense class?
No, I watched it on YouTube.
God damn it.
It's not... Okay. You can also break a man's neck with the most... effortless amount of force.
Yep. Nerve pinches, all that. Yeah, I saw all that on YouTube too. So it must mean it's true.
I also saw that you could strangle a dude and then break his neck with your thighs if you use the Thigh Master.
Suzanne Summers, America's most deadly weapon.
Okay. So he's like, yeah, you're dead. And so he goes and stands in the middle of these huts and just starts unloading his M60. Like he's running through bullets, just shooting the hell out of these huts. And he yelling Chakotay the whole time. Chakotay! And then he stops firing. And they all just come out from behind the huts where he was just blasting away. And they're like, ha-ha, you suck. You missed me.
Shoot at people, not nothing.
I mean, like, we were like inches away from death, but you just suck at this, buddy. So he's totally surrounded. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I planned for this because I brought a thermal detonator. And Dakota steps out and he's like, oh yeah, well, I thought of this. I brought Martin. He pulls Martin out. and Ransom's like, wait, who's that guy? He's like, hi.
Who is that guy?
Hello, I'm Martin. Don't fuck with me or I'll kill Martin. He says this all the time. Be careful. I think he might mean it. Okay, Martin.
I don't think either one of them gets what they want in this standoff, but then he's in prison.
Yeah, he just goes.
I guess
he goes to jail, and the jail sucks. It's almost as
the
bad
jail
as the
sucks.
the space
almost
lady
falls
jail.
over when he touches it. Sometimes it's like, oh my god, you'll never escape from there.
Yeah, considering the latch on it is just held into place by a small piece of rope.
Right. Yeah.
Don't try to escape.
Don't do it. So Martin's like, well, it turns out I don't like torture, so I give them what they want. What is it they want? They want me to go on the radio and say that the war should be over? Oh, okay. Well, how's it going for them? I don't know. It seems like we're still fighting Vietnam, but
Yeah.
I just do what they tell me. Weird requests and all. I thought they'd want like information about like troop movements and things. No, they just want me to say, guys, quit fighting and think that the Americans are going to quit fighting. But whatever.
This is a total shit plan.
It's
Imagine
a real
some of
bad POW plan.
So I think that each one of us real quick should just come up with a real quick snippet of what your radio message would sound like if you were Conrad.
Martin.
Yeah. No, the evil guy that's having Martin read. So you write like a really quick Jakota.
Yeah.
You have Jakota write up like a really short, like 2-3 sentences.
I've got a perfect example. There's actually people that do that, Jackie, for the Russians. So it would go a little bit something like this. The Democrats are you're eating your children, and they're making the trans people suck their blood, and Sandy Hook didn't happen. There you go.
Send nudes.
Send nudes. Okay.
Your mom says that she misses you. How do I know that? Because your mom's a whore. That's
Hey.
right.
I banged her.
I banged her, and then I stole all the cookies that she was going to send to you to Vietnam. So fuck you, Americans.
And so then he looks up from the script and says, wait, you banged my mom, or am I implying that I banged somebody else? Because whose voice is this, Jakota? I'm confused.
Dakota's like, it doesn't matter whose voice it is. All they know that now is that they're not getting any cookies this month.
Oh, and also Ransom's here, and he agrees with everything I just said. That's why they wanted to capture Ransom, because they're like, oh, he's G.I. Joe. He's the toughest American that's ever lived. And he's also like, yeah, Vietnam's dumb. We should just go home. That's it. That's what we're here for. And so they just start torturing Ransom because
This is the funniest torture I have ever seen.
pretty funny.
When they're hitting him with sticks, and you're just like, cut it out, stop it. I don't like that. And they're not big sticks, and they're just like whacking him, and it's barely working. And you're like, you guys are amateurs.
And one of them, they just tie him up, and Jakota does push-ups in front of him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dakota does a lot of push-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he's not fighting or torturing, he's just doing push-ups. They're
My
making him
favorite
pull
was
a
when
cart,
they had him tied to...
and he goes, "Shit, shit, you sons of bitches." If he can wisecrack, the torture sucks.
My favorite torture was when they tied the buckets on his arms and then put the little sticky points like right in front of him. Like the little sticks, right? So that he would like jab himself in the face. Not that he couldn't just step back 3 steps, right? And like go.
There wasn't anything around him. He could just like walk back. It was like he was taunting them. He was like, "Yeah, look how strong I am. Your torture sucks."
And then he's trying to keep track of the days with marks, but instead of writing 4 marks and then crossing them out to symbolize 5, he's writing like 8 marks and then crossing all 8 of them out. Like, that's not how that works, dude. I've been here for so long. Let me count these individually rather than in digits of 5. Hold on.
I also like that the torture scene was kind of like a montage scene to show you that even though he's a prisoner and he's supposed to be getting tortured, he's actually just working out like in a Rocky montage.
Right, yeah.
And getting stronger while he's at the camp.
Uh-huh. Right. Because the thing that they think is going to break him is Martin dies because he's like, I did it. I told them their script was bullshit and like character motivations in it were bad and it didn't make any sense, so I refused to read it and they killed me. Jakota! And so they leave they leave Martin in there to rot.
But what they don't realize is that Reb Brown is a true American pooper.
Reb Brown.
And he takes the nastiest shits anybody's ever smelled.
Right. Yeah.
So it takes a long time for the body to decompose enough for him to be bothered by it.
Take it away! No, I don't care about the body. I meant that bucket of shit. Oh, God. Oh, they left me with my own crap. Ah!
Yeah, that's what they should have done with the torturers. Just feed them tons of beanie weenies and spam. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Put me back on the electrocuting mattress thingy. Oh!
Anything to get away from the smell of my own poo.
So he's like, okay, I'll say whatever you want on the radio. So they stick him on there. And he's like, hi, my name is Mike Ransom. And I just want to say to all the Americans, keep fighting like hell because I'm going to. Yeah. And then he punches guys. Yeah. Woohoo.
And then
he takes the Olga lady as hostage, and she's like, no. And he's like, shut up. I'm not going to go. Yeah, you are. Shut up.
I don't want to go.
Cut it out.
I don't want to.
Cut it out.
Oh, man.
And then he throws that one guy on the electric mattress fence, and she's like, you're going to get hurt for this or whatever she says. And he's like, not as bad as that guy right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
So they run into this cave, and he manages to get his hands on a flamethrower, torches up some guys pretty good, and then just torches some barrels that they've just got. And I don't know what the barrels are for, but they appear to be filled with... where do we put all this toxic explosion stuff? In the cave. Okay.
Yeah.
Next to the flamethrower. So he blows up the whole damn cave. Like, whole mountainside explodes. So he's got a pretty good head start, because I guess cave in and all that. So he's running away with the lady, and they run into the jungle. And this guy springs out of the ground, and Reb Brown shoots him in the face. He's like, Jesus! You scared the crap out of me!
Yeah. You scared me. Then he kills him.
He kills him. Oh, yeah? That's a bummer, Reb. Dang. Scared the crap out of you, huh? Well, I guess he deserved to die then. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
At this point, like, he ties her to a tree because she's starting to bother him.
Right.
And then he just starts freelancing.
Right.
Like, there's this big patrol boat, and he's like, fuck, I hate that boat. And he just attacks it.
Well, no, you're missing my favorite line in this whole movie is when he ties her up, and he's like, how do you say goodbye in Russian? Auf Wiedersehen? And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, God damn it. Nope.
Yeah.
That's not
My
it.
favorite was like right before he said that, he was like, don't worry, the worst thing that's going to happen is your own people will shoot you.
Oh, great. Well, in that case.
So my favorite is he freelances on this big patrol boat, and kills almost everyone on it, and he's about to blow it up with his grenade bundles again when he's sort of gets put in a headlock by some guy that he didn't know about. And the struggle leaves him with very little time to escape the boat before it explodes. And when he jumps off of it, it is completely unintelligible what he says, but I'm pretty sure it was, "Our Noir!"
He said, our Father which art in heaven.
It did not sound like that. It sounded like, "Our Noir!"
Yeah, we had to rewind it twice.
I thought he said, a fire fart! The thing was blowing up, and he was jumping like, woohoo! Blowing to safety by my own butt. Yeah, well done, Reb. He started getting pretty loosey-goosey around here. But he gets on the radio, and Radek's on his way to pick him up. He's like, oh, I know where he's at. So Radek is going to go in, and the Major's like, oh, that doesn't seem suspicious at all. There's still a ton of guys after him, too. And he's doing booby traps. He does it has time to set up the spiky bamboo thing that if you trip the wire, it comes up in the spiky thing. He's got one of those. And he's got some other Danton style attacks. And Jakota's just following the trail of dead to him. And the lady, she's like, we can't go. Radek is going to kill you. And he's like, no, Radek seems cool now. And she's like, no, he's KGB. I don't buy it. Oh, yeah? Okay.
She saves him, and she's gone full circle at this point, because when she first sees him, she's like, I don't think we should torture him. I think we should let him just be on me.
Yeah, because she's...
like, that guy just needs to be on top of me.
Yeah, she's his second love interest in this movie. And so the chopper shows up, and Radek's like, go ahead and kill him. And the lady's like, oh, no. And she gets shot immediately. Like, he makes no attempt to save her at all. But then he shoots up the chopper, and it flies off like, oh, the circuits are bad. Take me back to base. And he's like, we're not going to make it, dude. He just shot a hole in the fucking engine, but whatever.
Yeah, you ever been in a helicopter crash? Because you're about to.
And so Reb hugs the second dead lady of this movie. Oh, pretty lady who died. Why does everybody around me die that I love? Probably because you push them into the lines of bullets. I mean, you're not good with the women.
That.
Yeah.
You know, he's really not big on long-term relationships.
Yeah, apparently.
So the sooner that they get shot up, the better things are, you know?
Right.
Never has to get too serious.
She's going to want to go on like a third date. Gall. That's my line in the sand. Anyways, he finally finds Jakota, and Jakota's like, okay, well, let's have a fist fight. And wow, what a fist fight it is.
It starts with Jakota just kicking the shit out of him.
Pretty much.
Like, he's like, let's see what you got. And then he just punches him in the face twice, and he falls over. You're like, oh, you gotta, don't just take him in the face. Don't take him right in the face. Try to dodge him something.
They're trading punches pretty good for a while. There's eye gouging. At one point, Jakota gets him in a headlock and does the I got your nose thing. Like, I got your nose, pulling on it. And both of them trade kicks to the balls.
Yep. There's a lot of tussling. There's a lot of punching. There's a lot of unconventional attacks. And finally, when they realize that they need to put it all out on the line to defeat the other, they sprint at one another and headbutt each other in the head.
But the line right before that is the evil guy shouts out, I'm going to break your back.
Uh-huh.
And then they start running at each other, and then it's a mega headbutt. And then there just splatters of blood all over them.
Well, they like headbutt each other hard, and it doesn't work for either party.
It's amazing.
Like both of their faces are a little bit worse, and they start talking to each other again.
But it all ends with Jakota getting punched off of a cliff into what appears to be a nice, like, where college kids would jump off the cliffs into water, so I think he's fine. He's not dead there, Ransom. But whatever. And almost. So the war's ending. It's the last day of Saigon, the fall of Saigon. And Ransom is just walking through the streets with an M60, and he's gonna go to HQ to shoot up Radek, but Radek's already gone. The Major's there. He's like, the war's over. He's like, not for me. It is. You're going home. No, I've got one more guy to kill, and it's Radek. He's Baddick, and that's the end of Act 2. And now it's present day in Manila, or 1987, because he'd be really old if it was actually present day. But
yeah.
So he lands at the airport and he meets up with the major, and the major takes him to a cockfighting thing, because that's where you have all your secret discussions. And he's like, yeah, Radek, he owns like some sort of business. I think he makes like gears for small watches or something. But yeah, he's got a whole office on 38th Street. Huh.
It's a front for Russian gun sales, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't put it together what he was up to. But so now he knows where he's at. He wasn't hiding that much, I guess. Really, he probably could have just like, I don't know. I guess he didn't have the internet, but it seems like he wasn't hiding at all. Like, I'm just doing this over here now. So Ransom, he goes to the office, and the secretary's like, yes, do you have an appointment? He's like, no, but he'll know who I am. I'm Mike Ransom. I'm here to kill him. Okay, well, let me check his schedule. It looks like he's full today. Could we get you in next week for that? No, I'll take care of it now. Here's a grenade on your desk. What's a grenade? It's a thing that blows up. Oh, wait, I know you. You tried to kill me earlier in the movie. Oh,
you called me a rice ball and punched me in the butt.
Yep.
Oh, man, how you been? So she runs away, and the desk blows up. His guys hear it, and they all load up on guns. And she calls into Radek, and she's like, yeah, he's here. He's here to kill you. So they send guys out, and he's blowing them all away with his M60 again. And now he's got unlimited ammo as well, which is nice. Because the chain of bullets, he only brought like 20 bullets, and he's gone through like 50 already.
It's not unlimited. It's just the right amount, as it turns out.
Yeah, right. It's true.
I also like when the bad guy crew comes around, they're like, where is he? And he's like, I'm right here. And shoots a bunch of them.
Uh-huh. He blows away that secretary finally as well. Everybody's dead except for Radek. And Radek is like sitting behind the door with a Desert Eagle, ready to shoot him as he comes in. But instead, Ransom loads up another grenade, blows through the door, and doesn't blow up the door, just goes through the door and hits Radek. It blows him up.
And his whole office.
But there's also
seems like this is a mortar that he shoots in there.
I don't think you know what a mortar is, honey, but that's fine. It's okay. It's an explosive thingy, and it blows up Radek pretty good. But there's also like a dummy. Did you notice that there's like 3 cuts of the explosion of Radek, and one of them was a dummy? The other was just 2 generalized explosions. It was really weird. But yeah, so that's all taken care of, and he throws the gun on the ground, and then he goes outside, and Jakota's there, and he's like, I'm not through with you, Buster. And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you are, because I'm going to shove this. Oh, wait, you got new teeth? Why did you get new teeth?
Look what you did to me.
You fell in water.
Why are your teeth fucked up?
I had to get metal teeth, like riveted in, because the water rusted out the old ones, because I fell in that water that you did. So it's your fault, my metal teeth. Okay, well, whatever. Here's a grenade in your metal teeth. Oh, no! Blows him. And then I love that he yells, I'll get you, Ransom! And it fades away like the top half of his body is flying someplace, and he's vowing vengeance.
He's vowing vengeance. His exploded half is vowing vengeance. And then his dentures fall on the ground. And Ransom picks him up, and he's like, oh, man, these Russian dentures are great.
Oh, man. And then chucks him on top of a building.
Was when the torso, the bottom part with the legs, just kind of goes flying off camera into the corner, and it's like, that is so cool looking.
It was hilarious. And then he's like says something about like all the characters in this were coincidentally not real. I mean, really not real. Get it?
Like, it's 1 in a million, man.
I don't get it at all. Mike?
I don't know what you're talking about, Reb.
Are you implying that this did happen? Yeah. That's the movie. Questions. I can't believe we tore through that. I had 3 pages of notes, and we just flew through this episode.
I didn't take very many notes. In fact, like the third act was so densely packed with nonsense, I couldn't write any of it down. I just have dentures.
Dentures? Dentures. All action movies should end with dentures. All right, who wants to ask some questions? Sam, I'm assuming you don't have any.
No, I think I asked all of them.
Does he make it to the airport before being arrested for killing a local businessman?
Yes.
Yeah. And then spends the rest of the time in a Filipino prison?
Probably.
No, he makes it to the airport.
Oh, he does make it to the airport.
The general is there to help him.
That's kind of true, but not really.
He's the major says you're on your own.
Yeah. Tell you where he's at, but this is off the books, baby.
Yeah, he makes it to the embassy and he gets out.
Just because you like him so much?
Well, he murdered a lot of people.
Murdered a lot of people.
Even at the embassy, they're like, you're gonna have to answer for this.
We have an extradition treaty with the Philippines. They're a former colony of the United States. So, I can't do much for you here, bud.
Like, the only way that he stays free is if he just becomes a bloodthirsty mercenary.
Mm-hmm. Or disappears into Tibet or something like that, Goes on top of a mountain.
Yeah, he has to go off the radar, otherwise he's going to jail.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike Ransom, you don't get to be an American hero anymore. Should have brought that man to justice with proof. The burden of proof. And you didn't have any. Just killed him to death.
Best one-liner.
I laughed my ass off so hard when he said, "You scared the shit out of me."
Yeah.
That I
think cut it out was mine because he just kept telling everybody, cut that out. Cut it out. Like, cut out trying to kill you?
Another point, a guy like yells something in Vietnamese, like, I'm going to kill you, but it's in Vietnamese, and Mike Ransom, the only reply he says is, bullshit!
That was my favorite one.
And then he kills him. It's okay, there you go. Yeah, some good silly one-liners in this one for sure that were maybe not intentional, maybe ad-libbed, but I liked them. I don't have anything.
Is it... Rank it among your other Reb Browns.
This is my second favorite Reb Brown, but it is definitely my favorite Bruno Mattei movie. But Howling 2, my sister's, somebody's sister's a werewolf is my favorite Reb Brown movie for sure, but this is really close second.
This is a close second to your for me.
Yeah. There you go. It's a good one. It's a really good one. It's underrated. Not a lot of people talk about this movie very much. There's a sequel. We'll probably get to the sequel. Maybe I'll do that as my next pick. It's also on Amazon Prime. Also directed by Bruno Mattei, so we'll probably try to do that. But yeah, I've loved this movie. I thought it was great. It's a total do for me now that we're just doing that.
Do it.
Yeah. If you like Danton, if you like 80s action movies that are really silly, this isn't as cliche as all of them. I mean, it is super cliche, but like it's just fun. It's fun from start to finish.
And it's bonkers.
Yeah. Jackie?
And just like Mike Ransom, you two do not listen to women because I didn't get to answer the question about which of Reb Brown's favorite movies was mine. So thanks a lot, you inconsiderate bastards.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. In Reb Brown's defense, all the women are dead.
That's true. But I'm very much alive. And, I just wanted to point that out. But really, I don't know because I don't remember.
Don't remember Howling 2, My Sister's Werewolf?
I remember that one. I loved it. But I would have to go back and revisit some of them. It's been a while. My memory is shit. But I'm going to give this one an absolute due. I had such a good time. I laughed so hard. I mean, just the nonsense of the one-liners and like, why are you going back in there? Oh, that guy's a spy. You're using this lady as a booby trap so you can kill 2 guys with your bare hands at once.
Booby trap. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I gave it 8 out of 9 or 8 out of 10 stars, which is pretty high for this genre of movie for me. I like all these movies, but I usually am like 6, 7. But this was all the way up at an 8. I thought it was fantastic. I had so much fun with it.
I would watch it again.
There you go.
And most of the time when we do these movies, I'm like, I'm not going to watch that for at least a long fucking time.
Gurgle.
Beer gurgles.
Yeah, we've got some listener feedback this week on the show. We got a new fan who posted a comment on last week's episode of Secret Agent Club. AP says, so when are we doing the far superior to Point Break, Gary Busey as crazed parachutist vehicle Drop Zone starring Wesley Snipes? Sam?
I have Drop Zone on disc. I don't know if it's... Well, we'll look to see if it's available. Drop Zone is fun, but it's not as much fun as Bulletproof or Eye of the Tiger.
I think you should
in terms of the Busey bananas.
When you're ready to do that, you should do a double feature with it and Vertical Limit. Those should go together. Drop Zone. And...
I don't know if Vertical Limit will ever see the light of day again.
Why? It's got to be an episode.
But it's not. You can't find it. It's not streaming anywhere.
Really? Huh.
Well, I'll check again.
Yeah. Okay.
And leading to my next pick, which is maybe the internet will make me a liar, but my Fred Olen Ray movie for next week is The Tomb.
Okay.
With Cameron Mitchell. Mm-hmm. And it is on YouTube, or it was on YouTube 2 days ago.
Okay.
So we'll see if it's still on YouTube.
You're going to have to get us the link of the one you watch. AP does go on to say, you guys are the best. Currently hitting the Superman 4 Supergirl Punisher stretch. American Ninja had me rolling. I'm just about peeing my pants for Last Dragon. Super glad I found this podcast. So glad you also found the podcast. If you would like to reach out to us, you may do so on all of our vehicles, but mainly the best way to do this is to either reply to an episode or email us, talk@stinkermadness.com. And we will get back to you.
Hi, AP. This is Jackie. I just want you to know that everybody calls me Queen Jackie, and that, just in case you were looking for an idol or a false idol, or just a complete butthole to, be friends with on the internet, I'm here for you, buddy.
Everyone calls her Queen Jackie as long as it's in everyone party of one. Every one person named Jackie.
I'm cracking another beer.
Okay. That's the end of this podcast.
Everybody calls me Giant Dong. All the ladies. I made out with every girl in the world.
All right, get to the chopper.